All right, everybody. Hi, this is Eric Hale, and I am honored to be joined by Barry Ritholtz here at Camp Kotok in Grand Lake Stream, Maine. This is 2025 Camp Kotok. Um, Barry, how are you? Good.
I think this is my 17th or 18th Kotok,
Right.
minus the pandemic one we missed.
Didn't you
So,
come here on your own though?
oh 07. No, I was always working for a firm, but my first one was 2006 or 2007, something like
Wasn't
that.
there an unofficial Kotok when?
Oh, for another 10 years, right back to 9/11, which really begat this
Right.
whole event.
We just spoke with David, and he talked about what's going on. We got panels here. You're speaking tonight? Are you on tonight's panel?
No, I was on a panel last year, and I
So you just
gracefully bowed out this year,
all right. So
which allows me to start drinking earlier.
exactly, and you're definitely enjoying. You had a good day fishing today.
Good day fishing.
Yeah, good
No,
friends.
no drinking all day today. Um,
At all?
just like one day on, one day off. You want
Okay.
there's to be fair, there's way too much wine here.
Well, we've had some great discussion. I didn't see you at the poker table last night, so maybe we'll see you there too.
I'm an observer.
You are, and you do good coaching and good commentary. I enjoy that. So I want to talk to you about why do you come to Camp Kotok? What do you look forward to? Well, what do you get out of this?
So a lot of it is just you get to hang out with a different group of peers than you usually do. Over the years, the user base has changed. Used to be a lot more Fed officials, a lot more policymakers. Now it seems to be more about analysts, strategists, money management. There's lots of policy discussions. It's always interesting to hear different strategies, different ideas, different hot takes from sort of like the six blind men describing the elephant.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a currency guy, you see
Yeah.
the world differently than if you're a bond trader or if you're a woman running a long short fund. Everybody sees a perspective from, the old joke is where you stand depends on where you sit. Depending what your job is, it's going to affect the prism through which you view the world. And as a 30,000-foot guy, long-term guy, I love hearing these little different stories, these different takes.
And getting some different perspectives.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we operate under Chatham House rules for part of the meeting, so we don't talk about things that we've heard necessarily.
Right. None of this can be broadcast to the public. This is all off the
between
record.
us. Okay,
Right.
okay,
That's
fine,
right.
fine. Considering the agenda that we've had so far, we had some really interesting sort of emotional discussion last night with some veterans, and thinking about maybe you can comment a little bit on that, what you got out of that. But I'm interested in what you're looking forward to with regards to the rest of the agenda, or any particular topics you're interested in. I know you can you say who you drove here with?
Sure. It was a great car. It was Dave Noddig at the wheel.
Yeah.
I'm in the back seat with Cameron, Claudia Sam in the
Cameron
front
Dawson.
seat.
The soccer
And
Cameron Dawson?
That's right. The soccer great
No.
/ ballerina, former ballerina, and just a lot of interesting policy, economic, sentiment discussions. It's always fascinating so over the course of my career, I've seen several different game-changing technology just affect how the world operates. And each game-changing technology just changes the dynamic. And unfortunately, for better or worse, and I'm stealing this line from Paul Graham, all experts are experts in the way the world used to be. You think about it, you go to college, you go to grad school, maybe you get a doctorate, you're studying history, and now you have this expertise 10 years later, and suddenly the world changes. Suddenly, first there was computers, then there was internet, then there was mobile, then there was genomics. Now we're dealing with large language models and artificial intelligence. And each of these game-changing technologies dramatically affects how the world operates, how assets operate. And a lot of what the discourse we see on social media, on TV, radio, even in the analyst community, some of it's kind of forward looking, a lot of it is backwards looking, and some of it's sort of stuck catching up. And to me, I don't necessarily have an opinion on any of these things. I'm kind of fascinated to hear what all these different folks think about these different things. Um, I have a pretty good ear for hearing, like, yeah, there's something wrong with that argument. This doesn't logically follow that. But it's always fascinating to hear the different hot takes about, is the market too concentrated? Is the stock market too expensive? Is like, there are a lot of these conversations, um, all of which are frequently based on a fundamental belief system that sometimes is faulty. It's almost as if I wrote a book on the topic.
Wait a minute. Since you mentioned it, Barry, let's bring it up. We've got this book here, which, okay, everybody watching this, you have to go buy the book, okay? This is destined to be a classic. Isn't that one of the quotes here?
William Bernstein,
Yeah.
right.
I'm not joking, though. I think the title, How Not to Invest, I thought was very interesting. I thoroughly enjoyed the book. The audio I thought was fantastic.
Can you tell I had fun writing it?
You had a blast writing. I laughed out loud. I mean, I happen to know you. I've known you a few years here, but several times, and the stories really brought it home. And I found myself saying, yes, 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 every chapter. And
A lot of short chapters, very quick read
it's
chapters.
very easy to read. And then to the end, you do get to how to invest.
Well, you can't just tell people, don't do this, don't do that. So one of the things I've learned managing money for clients, regardless of where they are on the wealth ladder,
Yeah.
is that when someone brings you an idea, you can never say, that's a terrible idea. What I've learned over the years is you could say, that's interesting. Let me share a story with you.
Yes.
And at the end of the story, when the client says, oh, that sounds like a terrible idea, I said, yes. Now, do you see any parallels between, oh, it's the same thing. So what do you think? Maybe I shouldn't do this. Okay. And a lot of those, my favorite stories, are in the book.
So,
And each of them are a legitimate, useful lesson.
so what I got out of the book, you mentioned two Charlies. Tell me about the two Charlies.
So Charlie Munger,
Yeah.
Warren Buffett's partner, very famously was once asked, is Berkshire Hathaway so successful because you and Warren Buffett are just so much smarter than everybody else? And in the most Munger-like way, Charlie Munger answers, it's not that we're smarter than everybody else. We're just less stupid. And it sounds a little like, wait, what does he mean by that? But when I look back at my career and I look at all the boneheaded things that I did, all the trading mistakes, all the investments I missed, all the things I sold too soon, all the trades I had no business being in, the ones that worked out the best weren't that I was hitting these home runs. It's just, oh, I was a little less stupid here. Oh, I didn't make a dumb mistake there. And so you learn, success in investing isn't a matter of hitting these grand slam home runs.
Right.
It's just make fewer mistakes.
Make fewer mistakes.
So that was the first Charlie. By the way, Warren Buffett sort of annotated Charlie Munger's comment. He followed up by saying, in investing, any IQ over 125 is wasted.
Exactly.
So that's Buffett's line. The other Charlie is another brilliant guy named Charlie Ellis. A lot of people, Ellis is a legend. A lot of people don't know who he is. He ran Greenwich Associates, which was a consulting firm. He was the chairman of Yale Endowment. He worked with David Swenson for decades. He was on the board of directors of Vanguard. Like a storied, legendary guy. I don't know of any resume comparable to that. And he wrote a short paper in the 70s or 80s and eventually became a book. And the paper was called Winning the Loser's Game. And he draws a parallel between tennis and investing. Tennis, says Charlie Ellis, are two games in one. There's a winner's game and a loser's game. The professionals, the 0.001% of people who earn a living hitting a fuzzy yellow ball over a net, they play a winner's game. What does that mean? They hit with power and precision. They serve aces. They put the ball on the line. They keep the ball away from their opponent's sweet spot. They hit it where they aren't, and they just score point after point. 99.9% of us, the duffers like me, that's not how we play. We don't play the winner's game. We play the loser's game. What's the loser's game? We double fault on a serve. We hit it into the net. We hit it wide. We hit it long. We hit it right into our opponent's sweet spot. And rather just, let me just return the ball and not make a mistake. Let me just get it back over the net. We try and operate outside of our ability, right? And there are a lot of other fields where you learn problems aren't out there waiting for you. It's you who exceed. Race car drivers, if you exceed the car's ability to stop, to turn, to accelerate, to stay on the track, that's when you run into trouble. So Ellis's argument, winning the loser's game, is very parallel to Munger's, which is just make fewer mistakes and you'll win more tennis and make more money in the market. And so I took the two Charlies idea. So I had a few publishers chasing me to publish another book after Ballot Nation. And, it's a lot of work. It's a pain in the neck. And besides, there's been a million investing books and everybody is still a pretty mediocre investor. Do we really need another book? So I kind of said no for a while. And then when I started thinking about it, it's like, maybe instead of doing what everybody does, telling them, here's what you should do, how about this? If I could just show you the most common mistakes that everybody makes, if you avoid these mistakes, you're ahead of 95% of your peers.
Could not agree more. Could not agree more. I thought it's a fantastic read, and I strongly recommend it to everybody. You'll find it well worth your time. I like the audiobook. I have the hard copy and the audiobook. Annotated the hard copy myself. I thoroughly enjoyed your audio recording. Tell me a little bit about that.
So first of all, I never imagined how difficult.
No, wait, you are on Bloomberg all the time.
Yeah,
You
but
got the #1 podcast on Bloomberg.
so, I'm having a conversation in a studio. There's noise. I hit the mic. I have a sip of tea or water. When you record an audiobook, you're in a 6x6 glass enclosure with a hypersensitive mic in front of you. The book is on a tablet in front of you. You're sitting in a chair, and if you just move, you shift your weight, you touch your shirt, the mic picks it up. Do it again. Do it like he is an engineer listening to every sentence. And that's before we get to the insane panoply of noises your body makes that you're wholly unaware of. First of all, I did not know that if you put milk in your coffee, or heaven forbid, have a cappuccino, your lips, your tongue, everything sticks together. The mic picks that up. Say it again. Your lips are clicking. Your throat gurgles. Your stomach makes noise. You don't hear this normally, but you have headphones and you're in this. Yeah. And I'm like, hey, what's that noise? He's like, that's your stomach. But I had breakfast. Yeah, 4 hours ago.
You're hungry now.
We have this all. So you have to, not only do you have to eat, you have to eat right before you get there. It's just, the other thing that was kind of interesting about the audio version, I bought my mom Barbra Streisand's autobiography, and I guess I'm a Amazon Music subscriber, so Amazon says, hey, since you bought this book, you get a free audiobook. Would you like the audiobook of this? Sure. So I'm listening to the book on a plane, and it's narrated by Barbra Streisand herself, and she stops the narration in the middle of the book and says, I'm going to just leave the pages for a moment and tell you a personal story. And she tells this funny little vignette. And I'm like, you can do that? I didn't know you could do that. And I just happen to be recording.
Okay.
So I don't know I haven't listened to the final audio, but there are 4 or 5 stories in the audio version.
They do come through very naturally. And
all right, like, try and say, hey, for those of you listening, this isn't in the printed edition.
Right. Yeah, I got it.
And so that was kind of fun to do. And I kind of like, let me put it out there and we'll see what they...
Did you see the eagle that just flew by us?
Right over there.
Bald eagle.
Yep. So last year we caught a fish that swallowed a hook and wasn't going to make it. So we threw it about 40 feet from the canoe.
Yeah.
And I have amazing footage of this eagle coming down, grabbing it and flying away. They're just unbelievably majestic.
When we were doing this with David earlier, there was a smallmouth over here, flipping around, splashing.
Did a bird come get it?
No. But you can see the fish jumping out of the water.
What's interesting is if not to go all ornithological on you, but if you watch the hawks and falcons, they're incredibly graceful flyers. And the one thing you notice about eagles, they're laborious, like they're working really hard. They're big birds. If you've ever been anywhere near them,
absolutely.
They're like, wow, that's a lot of wingspan there.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you taking time. I strongly recommend everybody get the book. You won't regret it. If you regret it, I'll pay you. I'll
Money
reimburse
back
you.
guarantee.
Money back guarantee.
Straight from him.
Straight from me. Thanks again, Barry.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks so much. I'm glad you liked the book.